Hey, everybody, welcome to Twice as Lively with Ken Heckenlively. That would be me. This is episode 8. And just because I think that doing a show should be like doing a high wire act, I'm going to do something that I don't know if it's that smart, which is that in a couple minutes, I will be getting a call on my phone to do a radio interview. I'll be doing a radio interview with Ryan Haidt, and we're going to be talking about my book, Catastrophic Disclosure. And we're going to be seeing what's going on with the UFO issue. I'm not quite sure everything that's been happening because I'm finishing up at school. So who knows? Maybe some curveballs will be thrown my way, but it will hopefully make for good entertainment. So before I get the call, which should come at about 3:30 in about 5 minutes from now, I just thought I would do our simultaneous sip. Remember, in honor of the amazing Scott Adams, we always like to start with a simultaneous sip. And I invite you to join me for coffee and conversation. Today, it's going to be about aliens because everybody wants to talk so much about aliens, especially as Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day movie is making its way to theaters. Now, a little bit of news about me is that I will be going to an early screening of Disclosure Day on Thursday, so next Thursday, and I will be immediately rushing back to my studio to do a movie review of it. I am very intrigued what Steven Spielberg has in the film. I have to say that there are a couple interesting things that I've heard in interviews with Spielberg recently, which excite me a great deal. For example, he has talked about how a big part of understanding the mystery is about empathy. I've heard Emily Blunt talking about what would the world be like if within a minute or two we could download a person's entire life and we could understand how they view the world. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? And I have to say that, yeah, that sounds like a wonderful thing, especially since I think the job of a writer, an artist, is to create empathy. We all live in our own little worlds. We have our concerns, but we may not fully appreciate the concerns and the experiences of others. So I commend Spielberg and Emily Blunt for thinking that empathy is something that we as human beings should be concerned about. So I'll take another sip. Hopefully you have a beverage that you are imbibing at this moment. What can I say about media interviews? So one of the things that often happens is that for years, I've been very nervous in the moments before an interview, particularly as to whether my technology is going to be working. That is less of a problem these days. Now that I have my Heckenlively studios here, so that's great. This is just a radio interview. So I'm going to be called on my phone. I'll put it on speaker. Hopefully it'll be clear to you all. Usually what happens is I'll talk to the engineer at first, and then usually the host will hop on for 10, 15 seconds just to check in with me, talk about what I want to discuss or what they're interested in discussing. and it's really just kind of a free for all. So, what am I thinking as I get ready to do this radio interview? I'm thinking to myself that I want to make sure that I listen to the question that is asked because an interview is kind of like a tennis match. So they're gonna serve me the ball and hopefully I hit it back. Hopefully I'm not thinking so much about something else that I miss what they're trying to tell me. So I'm doing this for your amusement and hopefully I don't make too big of a fool out of myself. Another thing to know about media interviews is there's usually a couple minutes of nervousness and terror as I wait for the call. Why is there nervousness and terror? Because I'm not sure exactly when they're going to call. I will be told, for example, that the call is going to come through at 3:30, which is the time it is now. But oftentimes with radio, there are commercial breaks, news. So even if I'm told that it's going to take place at 3:30, I may not get the call until 3:34, 3:35, 3:36, and then it's quick. Hey, Kent, we're going to put you right on. And so I've just got to be ready to roll with it. One of the things that's actually nice and gives you a little bit of time that I've noticed is that the radio hosts will usually do a nice little introduction of you. And in that introduction, they will talk a little bit about what they're interested in. And so that gives you, as the interviewer, a little bit of time to think about what you're going to say. What I also do is in my mind, I usually have a couple things that I want to talk about. So as we move towards the release of Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, I would probably say something along the lines of Spielberg and I got interested in this subject around the same time with the hearings which were held in Congress in the summer of 2023. So I'm trying to make a correlation in the audience's mind between me and Spielberg. So they can think, oh, wow, maybe this movie will be somewhat reflected in the book. I have no idea. But if Spielberg was following similar themes as I have been, if he started at the same place, I'm curious as to whether there will be some similarity between what we find. I don't know that to be true, but that's one angle that I could go towards. Another angle that I could go towards is the release of the UFO files. So we've had the release of many videos. Some of them are more interesting than others. Some of them probably have a more normal explanation. So there's that angle. There might also be the angle that that there is supposed to be an executive order coming forward that I broke that news about. It has since been confirmed by others that at least there's been discussion of an executive order, which would have three parts to it. It would give, tell current employees of these programs that any non-disclosure agreements that they had signed should be considered null and void. It would also provide a short period during which um, people can apply for amnesty if they are concerned that they may have committed crimes within the program. Those crimes range from lying to the public, maybe concealment of funds, maybe lying to Congress, maybe something more serious as harassment of whistleblowers. There have been allegations of kidnapping in some of these programs and maybe performing medical experiments on human beings against their wishes, and even claims of whistleblowers being murdered. We do not have verification of that, but that allegation has been made. The third part of the alleged executive order, which is forthcoming, is that there would be a limited period of time for those people who have worked on those programs to turn over documents, presumably to the Director of National Intelligence. And if those documents are not turned over within that period, there might be a time during which there would be not only administrative remedies against those people who failed to turn over those documents, there could be civil penalties, and there might also be criminal penalties. So all of those are possible subjects of discussion. That's sort of what I have just in the background of my mind as I await the call from the radio show. And so we'll just be waiting to see what happens. I'm gonna check my email to make sure that everything is still on. I'm checking the emails. Nothing seems, I'm not getting anything that it isn't happening. Okay, we're at 3:36. The call should be coming through. Okay, so Ryan should be calling me. Waiting on that call. Checking some other email. Looking at my phone. Waiting for it to ring. Okay. Then there's always the possibility that I got bumped, that something happened in the news and they just decided to go with it. So, tell you what I'm going to do. As I'm waiting, I'm going to text. Don't you love being behind the scenes? I'm going to text my marketing person. So it says, Ryan hasn't called. Did I get canceled? So let's see what my publicist has to say about that. All right, so I guess while I'm waiting, maybe I'll do a little bit of an update on the California elections. So, as you may know, the California primary took place. Okay, so my publicist, the wonderful Kelsey, has just said she's going to check to see what's going on, why I haven't been called. So, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Okay, so back to the California primaries. So it was an interesting night in California. So, as I understand it, Steve Hilton, the Republican nominee, or Republican, one of the main Republicans running, actually received the most votes. That's very exciting. But that means that he got 27%, and all the Democrats got, yeah, well, there was Chad Bianco. And so it still looks like an uphill climb for it. So we're going to see. Oh, I have my first chatters. I have Bob Schlitz. He's probably saying, what the hell is going on? Okay. So I'm just going to say, Bob, I'm waiting for a call from a radio show. Oh, this is great. See, I'm texting all this stuff. Okay, everything seems to be working. So this might end up being a shorter broadcast than I thought. Hey, Bob Schlitz, welcome. You are my first commenter. So that means I got to remember you from now on. Hey, Bob, where are you from? Oh, you're David. Oh. Okay. All right. So there's some stuff going on there that I can't say. Oh, man, this is funny. Okay. So for my one viewer, let me recap what has been going on. I'm supposed to be receiving a call right now from a radio show, but it seems like they're running kind of late. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do here. My fabulous publicist, Kelsey, has texted them and she's waiting for any response. So hopefully I got something to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be amused by this. Oh, I have somebody else. I have Melanie. Hey, Melanie, how are you doing? What do you want to talk about? Okay, you're good. Nice. All right, I don't know. Laugh out loud. Okay, you're in the same position as I am. I'm waiting for a call. So we're going to see what happens. Bob, what are you saying snore for? Sorry, I'm waiting. What can I do? I'm waiting for the call. Oh, you are really getting a behind the scenes look at my life. Yes, there are things that are supposed to happen, and then there's what actually happens. Remember, boys and girls, the adult world doesn't make that much sense, okay? Stay kids as long as you can, because you're going to think that the adult world makes more sense than it actually does. Okay. I'm checking everything. I'm checking my phone. Nobody's called me. So, what's going to happen? Is Kelsey going to call me and say something happened? What do you think? Should I call Kelsey and see what she has to say? What do you say? Bob, Lily, should I? Okay, I'll call Kelsey. You can hear me talk to somebody. I think I'm being ghosted by my own publicist. I got nothing. She hung up on me. Yes, This is what it's like, boys and girls, to be a New York Times best-selling author. You're supposed to do a radio show. Oh, Kelsey's texting me. Let's see what she has to say. All right. I know you're so excited. Okay, he's not answering. Something must have happened. Let me see if I can get a reschedule. He's usually good. Okay, so if you know much about radio, there are like 15-minute bits. So I was supposed to go on at 3:30 Pacific time. It is now 3:44. So what I'm going to do, and technically, okay. So I'm giving Ryan a break here. Here's the break I'm going to give Brian. Is that technically it did say 3:30 to 3:45. So maybe there is something that he thinks is going to happen at 3:45. He wants me to be ready from 3:30 to 3:45, but we're just going to see what happens here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on this stream for another 5 minutes or so. If I don't get anything, I'll cut it short. But this is what happens. This is real life. Okay, I see. I've got some people who are talking to me. What do you want to say? Okay, I see who you are, but I cannot say your names because that's privacy issues. So, oh, this is very funny. Okay, yes, I know you won't want me to say your names, but I can't say your names. So, oh, hello. Hello. Okay. Hello. Not real name, Stacy M9U. Yes, I can say that because it's not really your name. Yes. oh, oh. Yes, this is real life. I was supposed to have an interview today. Okay, let me go and see if anybody has emailed me as to what is going on. Do I have anything? No, no, no. I go to my, I can't get my calendar from here. Okay. This was supposed to happen. I wonder if he'll ask if I need help editing a video. No, I don't. I don't need help editing a video. I have a fabulous guy, Barrett, who is helping me. And so I got that taken care of. Okay, I'm going to be on for a couple more minutes. And then do I pay the person who works with me? Yes, I do. That's what the adult world is. You don't get things for free. Well, I'm having some of my chatters say they'll work for me for free. Well, I think that if somebody says they're going to work for free, you get what you pay for. So, no offense, but what? You have 3,000 subscribers? I have 9. Okay. So don't worry. I'm going to catch up with you. All right. Go to your channel. Oh, I have 14 now. Wow. I'm really rocking it. Okay. So one of my students is asking me how I feel about retiring. Yeah, bittersweet. It's bittersweet. I have definitely enjoyed my 20 years of teaching. See, I got this fabulous little clock from the school district. Ken Heckenlively, SRV, USD, 20 years of service. So, see, I really have had had 20 years of teaching. They also gave me this fabulous apple, and it says, "You have planted seeds that will grow forever." Okay, so that's nice. How do I feel about retiring? That's a great question. Um, I think it's interesting, especially when a man changes careers. It feels like a little bit of a death because um, you want to always be active, and I think men really need to stay active and feel like they're doing something. And so, what I have tried to do is I have tried to get my new life all set up as my old life is ending so that it's kind of seamless. One of the things that I realized when I started teaching, or that happened to me when I started teaching, is that um, I noticed I would go right till the end of school, and school would end, and everything was done, and then literally the day after school ended, I would come down with a very bad cold. And so I realized that what would happen is there would be so much stress that I'd built up about getting everything in, finishing up. There was always the problems of, students who hadn't turned work in. And I would try to make sure that, give them every opportunity to do well, because I really do feel that to students, grades are like their job and it's like their paycheck. And there are 3 long months that students are stuck with their parents. And that can be a really long 3 months stuck with your parents when they're not happy about the grade that you got. So I really try to give my students every possibility to turn work in. And in fact, I am one of those teachers who gets criticized by other teachers that that I'm too lenient with students. Um, but I don't think that's true. Actually, it's really interesting. So um, actually, in most of my classes, I have 2 to 3 students who are failing, who will be getting Fs because they haven't done the work. And then I've also got a lot of Bs and good amount of As. Um, so so I don't give all A's. I give you the opportunity to get an A, but if you don't do the work and I don't see it, then you know it's uh, it's it's the grade you earned. Okay, I've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left until I'm going to end this. Okay. So let me see. You are the hardest working man in education. Oh, thank you so much. You have you have you have fallen for the propaganda that I've given you. So I appreciate that. It's important to be able to brainwash the minds of young people, which is what I try to do every day. Okay, what else do we have? He has graded all of our papers. I've graded all the papers for periods 1 through 5. I'm going to be working on getting in early and getting through periods 6 and 7. So when you show up tomorrow, every single paper that you have turned in will have been graded and put in the grade book, because I am, without a doubt, the hardest working man in education. And see, years from now, that phrase will still be in your mind and it will still be associated with me. So, whatever things I have screwed up will have left your brain. And instead, the only thing you'll be able to say is, he was the hardest working man in education. So, that's good marketing. Okay, we are at 30 minutes and I have received no phone call. So I hope you have enjoyed my embarrassment and I am going to be signing off now. So there you go. Hope you liked Twice as Lively with Ken Heckenlively, and sign up and subscribe now.